y'all, Christine Byer here, licensed master esthetician for about 18 years, and I just wanted to do a little check-in. I realized I've done 6 fibroblast treatments in the last 6 months, and I'm like, I'm done. You may have seen my anti-aging blitz or my anti-aging palooza session where I microneedled my hands, I microneedled my scar, and I just did this again about a week ago, so it's a little red. I just went nuts and I did this whole area, and then it just happened that an instructor of mine had a class that I could actually drive to, and she's usually down in Tampa. So I got in my car and I drove to a class, and it was only 2 weeks later. I was like, oh my God, there's no place on my face that you can fibroblast at this moment. But she went ahead and did back here to get my neck to come in a little bit. And I've probably got one more treatment left to do on my neck, but I'm gonna show you a before and after, and it's pretty crazy how much my neck has shrank over the last 6 months or so. And I have not lost weight, unfortunately, but my neck has shrank. So I went to Jane Mann's class in Vegas in June, and people were saying, did you lose weight? And I'm like, no, but my neck shrank. That's an unfortunate thing that happens to women in their 40s and 50s, and sometimes as early as late 30s, where they start to just, the fat migrates and we get some excess skin around our neck, and we look fatter than we are, which is annoying. This new fibroblast treatment that I've been talking about ad nauseum is wonderful for shrinking necks and making people look right-sized. I have clients that really are quite tiny, and once we start working on their neck, by about the second treatment, they're like, oh my God, my neck is so much smaller. It's right-sized. I also wanted to talk a little bit about a new product that's coming out. It just came out. I'm so excited. It's CaviPLLA. So CaviPLLA. That is not the way you pronounce it. But it's caviar plus polylactic acid. This is from the makers of Sculplla, and we love them. This is really interesting how it works. It uses oxygen and a lot of the same ingredients as the facial filler mask that I talk about. I'll put some on here and show you what happens here. So you put it on and then you leave it, and it starts to foam up. The foaming action is what makes it penetrate. So you've got the polylactic acid, which is a stem cell, which when you put it in, it stimulates, right? Can you see that starting to bubble up? And this would be an adjunct to the mask. This would probably work without the mask, but it does penetrate the polylactic acid, and it penetrates caviar, which is really rich in amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein, aka collagen. So it's just very hydrating. It can be used as a sleeping mask. It can be used for people who are very dry, who have the Sculplla mask on, that want something that has that daily dose of polylactic acid, which is the stem cell that gets into the follicle and plants itself and works on stimulating cellular turnover and new collagen every second that it's on your face. And love this stuff. It's just clever. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around the science of it, but it works a lot like the mask that you have to go to an esthetician to have implanted. Sounds crazy, but put on, it pushes it into the deepest layers of the skin. It's called Sculplla facial filler mask. If you don't know about this, look it up, check it out, see some before and afters. It's pretty amazing. What I really wanted to talk about is the fibroblast industry. A lot of people are getting into this, and if you're a layperson, just know that fibroblast is coming, and it's coming hot and heavy. It's like when microneedling hit the scene. It's the Wild West right now. In some countries, any Joe Blow off the street can go and take a weekend course and be fibroblasting people's faces. And if you don't know, fibroblasting is basically you take an electric arc, and all machines are not created equally. You take an electric arc machine, at the very worst, it's going to be somebody using an Amazon remover pen, right? And they make a little spark, and you do them in patterns of dots in the face, and that contracts tissue. And this is what I've had 6 treatments over the last 6 months. didn't really plan it, and it wasn't in the same place because you can only do it once every 3 months to the same place. You really need to let the skin replace all that collagen and turn over and heal for 3 months so you can see the final result. In some cases, it can keep on improving for up to 6 months. So it's really not something you want to rush the process of. That being said, I didn't do any part of my face more than once every 3 months. And so they were different areas. And I pretty much vlogged that process, so you can go back and look at some of my older videos. But my beef with this industry is that it is the Wild West right now. It is driving me crazy. I'm on all these groups. Like, you take your first classes and then you want more and more information, and you just want to get good right away. And it's a practice, and it takes a good eye and some artistry, and at the very least, a very good knowledge of how the skin heals after trauma. And if you've been an esthetician for any amount of time or studying skincare, then you know that is a process, and you know how to make that happen in your clients. You have tools, and if you've been following me and you're a layperson, you know about LED, you know about microcurrent, and all these things that help our skin heal and look really healthy. And these, especially LED, is something you want to do after fibroblasting. You just want to. But there's so many people coming into this field that don't have a clue. And so if you want to take advantage of the anti-aging benefits of fibroblast, make sure you check out how educated, how long has your person been doing it. If you're looking at the before and after shots and you're really excited, ask them how many procedures they've done. Ask them where was their training. Ask them about their machine. Is it a really good machine? Is it the Plumier? Is it the Plaxel? Is it the iPlasma pen or Louis Walsh's pen? Is it a really good machine? I guess there are more. There's the Accor. There's so many. And is it true plasma? So lots to ask, lots to find out about your therapist. Hopefully the person that's doing it is somebody who really understands the skin, who will give you proper aftercare. I tend to like wet healing. There's so much misinformation about how to heal. I tend to favor wet healing over dry healing. I think a lot of these schools say dry healing because they're terrified of people getting an infection, which can happen with wet or dry. So I tell people, at the very least, be on a cleanser. This is an oxygenating cleanser. It's pH balanced to the skin. It's very gentle. I can actually use this after fibroblast. I usually wait about 24 hours to do my first wash, just so that can form a really good crust or scab, and that way I'm not awakening more inflammation when I wash. And when that first wash is done, you want it to be something gentle, something pH balanced to the skin, something that doesn't have any exfoliants in it, that's not gonna kill the skin, it has to be super gentle. And I sell this on my website. It's Just Say Ah Revitalizing Cleanser. It is an oxygen-based cleanser. A little bit goes a long way, and it has a very foaming activity, but it smells like green tea. It's just gentle. I love it. And so that's something you could use while you're healing, or anytime actually. But I've heard people like telling people to use antibacterial soap, and I'm like, not on the face. You're killing me. So it's common sense for estheticians. But I have learned that some of the best things, the Just Say Ah cleanser, revitalizing cleanser. This is my brand. Also, NeoGenesis Recovery. This is a must-have if you are healing from fibroblast. It is just not negotiable. I mean, there are other things, but you really want to put on the skin what it's used to, what it needs. And anytime people have like these inflammatory responses and like they're just having a hard time with their healing, it's because they're putting on some weird exotic product that the skin does not recognize, and it's trying to heal, and it's trying to fight off this product, and it's just confused. And so when you put on human stem cells, that is NeoGenesis, it doesn't confuse it, and it's really one of the only things I can put on after fibroblast that doesn't burn. So, okay, that's my rant. All I can say is if you're interested in getting a fibroblast treatment, go for it, because it's one of the most anti-aging things you can do. It can definitely shrink necks, get rid of jowls, help with nasolabial folds, all these things that we think about surgery for, you can now majorly improve with a very talented, experienced fibroblast therapist who is hopefully somebody that is very well versed in skin and skin healing. So I hope I didn't piss everybody off with this, but it is the truth. I mean, if I'm gonna go have somebody put a hot poker in my face and burn little chars into it in patterns, it's gonna be somebody who understands my skin. And also, if you're thinking about getting training in this and you're not an esthetician and you don't have a good idea of how the skin heals, go to aesthetic school or become, I don't know, just study, and work on people. And that usually means getting a license to touch the skin and do beauty treatments. Anyway, that's my rant. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Oh, subscribe. I turned 50 in a week. I'm not happy about it. Leave me a comment about how you dealt with it. Thanks for watching. Bye.